In 7 News tonight, new pictures of a shocking attack on a Mount Isa mother as thousands prepare to rally for coward punch victim Cole Miller. A huge bushfire continues to burn in Western Australia with 2 men now confirmed dead. A terrified Gold Coast family demands an explanation after police raided the wrong home. A day they'll never forget. Grantham residents mark 5 years since their flood tragedy. And how this young Queenslander shared a tennis champion's glory at the Brisbane International.
This is 7 News Queensland.
Good evening. Anti-violence campaigners want judges to use Queensland's one-punch laws to full effect following yesterday's serious attack on a woman working at a Mount Isa pub. New vision has emerged of the unprovoked attack on Melissa Abdu. She remains in hospital recovering from serious head injuries. A week since the alleged coward punch death of Cole Miller, final preparations are being made to honour the teenager. Marlena Wapp joins us now live from South Bank, and some special tributes are being planned. Marlena.
Yes, Kay, tomorrow night city landmarks, including the Brisbane sign here, will be lit up in green. That's the team colour for Cole's water polo club, the Barracudas. It's the first time the sign will be used in such a way. The Story Bridge, the Victoria Bridge and QPAC will also light up. The Miller family has been particularly moved by the gesture as they prepare for a sad farewell this week.
They'll remember the teenager in the hope other lives will be spared. Marlena Wapp, 7 News.
The bushfire disaster in Western Australia has turned deadly, with the bodies of 2 elderly men found in the devastated town of Yarloop. 143 properties have been lost there in a huge blaze which is still threatening the shires of Harvey and Waroona, around 1.5 hours south of Perth. And Matthew Snelson is currently at the roadblock at Pinjarra on the outskirts of Yarloop. Matt, a third woman who was feared missing has been found.
That's right, Kay. Thankfully, that woman was found safe and well. Police say at this stage no one else is unaccounted for in these fires, but they're not ruling out the possibility that more people could have perished. DNA testing is being carried out on the human remains. The results won't be known for a couple of days. Malcolm Taylor's family is holding out hope that he is still alive. Kay?
Well, the Gold Coast family is calling for police to apologise for wrongly raiding their home at Coombaba as they were preparing to go to bed. The couple says their children have been traumatised by the case of mistaken identity. This time 5 years ago, a disaster was unfolding west of Brisbane. Unprecedented flooding tore through Toowoomba, the Lockyer, and in particular the little town of Grantham. Altogether, 19 people died, including 3 whose bodies were never found. More than 50 homes were destroyed and many more abandoned as much of Grantham was relocated to higher ground. There was a quiet gathering of several dozen Grantham locals this afternoon reflecting on the awful events. They laid wreaths and left butterflies as symbols of love and hope. Well, Jeff Bruce joins us now live from Grantham. And Jeff, from what you've been able to see, how are the locals recovering?
Oh, it varies enormously, Kay. I mean, some people who hadn't been in the town long have certainly been united by the ordeal they went through 5 years ago. And that second inquiry into the Grantham flood, held last year by Walter Sofronoff, helped heal a lot of wounds. It gave people a chance to be heard. There's also a lot of division here. I mean, Danny Maguire, for example, who lost his wife and 2 kids, has really spent most of the last 5 years fighting bureaucracy to try and get a better deal for his surviving son, Zach. There's a bit of rivalry and tension between the people who were given the right to have new homes up on the hill and those who weren't. There's some rancour between people who still live in the old part of Grantham and the new part of Grantham up on the hill. So it's a long way from a happy and contented community. There has been some improvement, but there's a lot more to be done to really heal things here.
We wish them well. Thank you. Jeff Bruce reporting from Grantham. Well, Laura Dimmock joins us now with a look at the weather.
Thanks, Kay. It was a perfect day to end the weekend in the southeast before conditions really start to heat up over the next few days. It was a different story in the state's north, though, with some parts receiving heavy falls over the past 24 hours. On the radar, you can see where that rain fell. As much as 70 millimetres was recorded around Cairns and Townsville. I'll have the full forecast a little later.
Thanks, Laura. Still to come in 7 News, an alarming safety warning. 100,000 chairs being recalled after a Gold Coast boy's shocking injury. Why Harrison Ford has entered the Hollywood history books. Princess Mary becomes the latest royal to turn photographer. And later in Flashback, when we jumped on board the cruising craze.
7 Live. Wherever you are, you're always connected with 7 News and Plus 7 Live.
A 17-year-old girl has suffered serious head injuries after she and a friend were struck by a car while crossing Ashmore Road at Benoa last night. The 16-year-old suffered minor injuries, while the driver, a 49-year-old woman, received minor cuts from a smashed windscreen. A total of 4 pedestrians have now been struck by vehicles on the Gold Coast in just 2 days. 13 years after British soldiers fought in Iraq, some have received letters asking what they knew about possible claims of alleged murder, abuse and torture. The Iraq Historical Allegations Team is investigating 35 cases of killings and 36 claims of abuse and mistreatment. Harrison Ford has starred in some of the most popular movies ever made, and he now holds an enviable record. With hit franchises such as Star Wars and Indiana Jones, his films have now grossed more than any other actor in history. His latest film, Star Wars The Force Awakens, helped to push the box office total for his films to nearly $6.8 billion. And Denmark's Princess Mary has released rare, candid photographs of her twins to mark their 5th birthday. Prince Vincent and Princess Josephine are snapped with a friendly koala. The photo was taken on their recent Australian holiday. The twins are the youngest of the royal couple's 4 children. Tensions are running high in the German city of Cologne after a wave of sexual assaults on New Year's Eve. That's next. Plus, commemorations in Brisbane to mark a little-known fact about Anzac Day. And $1 billion up for grabs. Details about the record lotto draw next. Police have released pictures of a vehicle as they search for a fugitive who swam into the ocean at Noosa to escape officers. It's unknown if 37-year-old Ricky Gardner made it back to shore. He's wanted for failing to appear in a New South Wales court. Anyone who's seen a gold 2001 Holden Commodore station wagon with registration number XOA 264 is urged to come forward. A wave of sex assaults against women in Germany has led to a heated protest by anti-immigration groups. The assaults have been blamed largely on immigrants. Under pressure to act, the country's chancellor says new migrants who commit any crime should be deported. Still to come in 7 News, sharing a tequila with El Chapo. Actor Sean Penn's extraordinary interview with the world's most famous drug lord. A new generation of gurus, why more older Australians are taking up yoga.
Yes, Prime Minister, the barbecue is lit.
And the famous faces lining up to be part of an hilarious Australia Day tradition. One of Hollywood's biggest stars has conducted an extraordinary interview with one of the world's most wanted men. Sean Penn secretly met Mexican drug lord El Chapo while he was on the run. Turns out it was El Chapo's love of the spotlight that led to his recapture. Scientists are finding remarkable improvements in the mobility and balance of older Australians who attend weekly yoga classes. Regular sessions improve basic strength and conditioning, and early studies suggest they can be of real benefit to 1 in 3 senior citizens who take a nasty fall each year. Well, from immigration to relaxation, we flash back to the birth of cruising. But did Southeast Queensland miss the boat on a tourism boom? Don't miss that story soon. That's in Flashback, just after the weather. Right now, joining me on the set is Rowan with the day's sport.
Thank you, Kay. Hello, everyone. We're counting down to the men's final at the Brisbane International as Queen Victoria celebrates her Tennyson triumph at a Gold Coast theme park. Nick Kyrgios winning over Australia by winning trophies for Australia. And is this the most freakish dismissal of all time? It could win by a nose. Roger Federer is preparing to fend off Milos Raonic for a second time to claim back-to-back Brisbane International titles. Victoria Azarenka finally added another Goolagong Cawley trophy to the cabinet 7 years on, while Federer's first real test of the tournament comes in a final. Kate, that's tonight's sport.
Thanks very much, Ryan. Stay with us. We'll check the fuel prices for the week ahead next. And in Flashback, the birth and boom of cruising and why Brisbane was a disembarking disappointment.
It's currently 26 degrees in the city. I'll have the forecast for the working week next.
Checking today's main stories now. A mother remains in hospital with serious head injuries after being assaulted outside a Mount Isa club as thousands prepare to rally in memory of coward punch victim Cole Miller. A Gold Coast family is calling for an apology from police after their home was wrongly raided. 2 elderly men have died and 143 properties have now been destroyed in Western Australia's bushfire disaster. And 5 years on, Grantham residents have paused to remember 19 lives lost in the deadly 2011 floods. To Fuelcast, and the RACQ says top up, don't fill up until prices begin to drop. Now, checking the day's weather, here's Laura.
Thanks, Kay. Hello again. Well, parts of the state's north have had some decent falls, but the southeast was fine and sunny, and that's how it will stay for the next few days. Let's look at today's temperatures. Brisbane peaked at 31 degrees at 11:30 this morning, then it cooled down with an afternoon sea breeze. Ipswich reached 32. The Gold and Sunshine Coast stayed below 30 degrees. Checking the satellite, an area of low pressure is responsible for this broad stretch of cloud over the WA, which is generating showers and thunderstorms over the west of the country, while high-level cloud over the Bight could also trigger some wet weather. Over the next few days, an upper-level ridge over Queensland will keep conditions clear in the southeast. The focus for showers and maybe some storms will be over the north and northwest of the state, while northerly winds will cause above-average temperatures in the south over coming days. More on that soon. First, looking around the country. A possible late shower in Sydney tomorrow and 31. Another warm day for Melbourne, 34. Canberra getting up to 35 degrees. Back to Queensland and more showers for the north tomorrow. Townsville 33, Mackay a top of 32. Moving south, it will be mostly sunny around central Queensland, Bundaberg and Maryborough reaching 32, Gympie 33. Across the southeast tomorrow, and you can see on the map, sunshine all round. Caboolture with a top of 30, Redcliffe and Bayside 29. To the suburbs, where Samford, Mount Gravatt and Springwood will all be 31 degrees. On the water now, south to southeasterly winds tending east to northeasterly 15 to 20 knots, seas below a metre. Tomorrow in Brisbane will feel much like today, 20 to 31 degrees, mostly sunny with some cloud about. Now that all changes from Tuesday when we see that spike in temperature thanks to those northerly winds. It'll be sunny and 34 degrees there. A cooler change is set to come through Friday or Saturday when we could also see some showers. In Ipswich, 17 to 33 tomorrow, and then really feeling it on Tuesday, a top of 36 with no relief until the weekend when it drops to 27. And on the Gold Coast, sunny and 19 to 31 tomorrow, and then hovering around the low 30s until the weekend. So, Kate, it might actually be a good week to be at work if your office has air conditioning.
Cool sea breeze would be nice too. Thanks, Laura. Tonight in 7 News Flashback, we recline on a luxury liner. Queensland is at the centre of Australia's booming cruise industry, and that's despite Brisbane and the Gold Coast struggling to get a slice of the action.
Cruising is booming. Now more than 1 million Australians set sail each year, one of the highest rates in the world. Another economic boom from the high seas.
And with Rod still enjoying a break, that's all from us this Sunday. Thanks for your company. From all the team, have a very good night.